Alright, before I get roasted in the chat, my eye is fucked. And luckily, I have some gameplay. Alright, so let's get into the WWE Payback review. Listen, the title is exactly how I'm going to start this video off. Payback last night felt like an NXT Takeover. And I don't know why, but it felt like a takeover. And we had names that have been in the WWE for years. We had the Becky Lynch's, the Trish Stratus's, Rey Mysterio's, Austin Theory's. It was just a weird card overall, if that makes any sense. But it was a good ass show. Like, it was a really good fucking show, bro. Like, there was heavy rumors going around. Oh, by the way, that whole Jay going to Raw thing, I mentioned that in my fucking live stream like a week ago. I said how I felt like Jay and Jimmy, they were going to go ahead and do the Dominic Mysterio and Rey Mysterio route and kind of keep them apart until WrestleMania. Circle back next year when they're fighting each other. I'm just saying. Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus. Great match. Like, I was watching the matchup and I wasn't really paying attention too much to the matchup because I wasn't expecting too much out of the matchup, but there was a rumor that they left this matchup off of the SummerSlam card just so because they wanted to give it, you know, the highlight that it deserved and shit, since it's been such a long and ongoing story. And it was worth it. It was really fucking worth it. Like, usually, sometimes, you know, especially in WWE cases, you know, sometimes the crowd makes the match, but dude, I don't know. This one was different. In this situation, the match made the crowd go absolutely crazy, and that's how it should be, and I'm happy that it was. But yeah, that match was crazy. Becky ended up winning. Yo, they did a fucking spot where Trish was on the cage, and she, like, folded over, and if she dropped, she would have fell on her head straight down to the mat, but her legs were locked in the top. And like, it makes sense, but like, when I was watching the match, I was like, oh fuck, her legs are gonna break, dog, what's going on? Like, in my head, her legs were broken at that point. All right, for the sake of the way the video is gonna look, we're just gonna go darker, okay? That matchup was crazy though, I'm not gonna lie. Like, if I can be real for a second, I wasn't expecting that match to do as good as it did. That's why when they popped off and did what they did, I was like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing tonight. And mind you, that was the open, right? And then this was after, you know, Zoe Stark tried to come out and help Trish Stratus, and it didn't work and shit. So we got this spot in the match where Trish was like kind of disrespecting Zoe, and Zoe was like acting like she was gonna walk outside the ring and then like slam the door closed. And then when that shit happened, the crowd was like, oh, like everybody knew like Trish Stratus was about to get her fucking ass whooped. By the way, the work that Trish is doing is absolutely amazing. If this is leading after this matchup for Becky to go back to women's championship stuff and Trish and Zoe to stick around, please, please, yes. Because with what Trish did tonight, this was a heavy thank you Trish moment. Like, this was exactly that promo she cut. What was it, after WrestleMania or some shit? Like that promo where she was saying that she revolutionized this and that. She did it, because Becky was good in this matchup. Becky went crazy in this matchup, but I feel like Trish took more of the bumps in this matchup. Trish has this fat ass circle on her head right now. That's just like I don't know how to explain it. Like, I'm gonna get my Blistex. It's like this. It's like a little extra knot, bro. Like, she got fucked up in that matchup, but it was worth, like, what she did in that matchup. I feel like nobody else could have did. Like, I feel like nobody could have did what either of them did in this matchup. Like, this was made for them, you know? So yeah, I feel like Zoe and Trish is the next in line for the whole women's feud. Like, you know how they've been having like side women's feud next to the championship? All right, so LA Knight versus The Miz. So LA Knight defeated The Miz, but which we all knew what was gonna happen. I feel like this was weird. This was weird. I don't know. Like, bro, at this point, I was doing something, and I was not really like in the best state of mind. So I was watching this shit, and I'm like, bro, is this like a fever dream right now, or am I bugging, bro? But no, I wasn't bugging. John Cena came out. He did his host thing, cutting his promo. He became the special guest referee for The Miz's match with LA Knight. He did not referee that match at all. Like, there was a long ass point in time where The Miz and LA Knight were outside of the ring, and Cena was like outside of the ring with them, and this was a regular match, so it was kind of weird that he did that. There were a lot of spots in the matchup where things just got a little weird, you know, but there was spots where Miz was attacking LA Knight too much in the corners, so Cena pushed The Miz away, and there were times where he did it to LA Knight. But I felt like in WWE, they knew what they were doing with this matchup. Like, the entire matchup, they were teasing heavily LA Knight versus John Cena, and Cena did kind of do some bullshit throughout the match, but LA Knight ended up winning. and Cena gave him respect. Like he put him over like heavily, and I wasn't expecting this. It was kind of dramatic, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it was very dramatic, and this could have led to something else. You know, like, we could have seen LA Knight do something cheap and dirty to The Miz, and Cena had no choice but to go for the cover, but he wouldn't raise LA Knight's hand, and LA Knight's like talking shit like, yeah, I won the match, you're the ref, raise my hand, da-da-da. And that could have like built off of that, and we could have built to this, because I feel like this shot that I'm looking at, like that whole shot of Cena raising LA Knight's hand up, that could have been a story. I felt like, I don't know what they're doing, I don't want to sit here and judge, and then they end up doing some crazy shit, but I feel like that alone could have been a story. Cena doesn't put LA Knight's hand up after the match because, again, maybe LA Knight loses in a weird way. It's LA Knight, he's not gonna get booed for this shit, you know what I'm saying? And at the same time, cheating or not, people want to see The Miz lose, so I doubt anybody's gonna get mad if The Miz loses in a fuck finish, you know? So it'll look good on Knight. It'll look good on Cena's character, because Cena's all about that hustle, loyalty, respect, that stand-up soldier kind of character. So he's not gonna want to raise his hand because that respect wouldn't be there. And then this can lead to like a later pay-per-view where they fight, and then we inevitably do see the whole Cena raising his hand thing. That would have been nice, but they're going for whatever they're going for here. Again, Knight beat The Miz. It was good. It was cool seeing LA Knight, The Miz, and John Cena in the ring, because even though Knight is the newer out of Cena and The Miz, as what a casual fan would really see watching back all these years and stuff, at least for WWE. But when I look at this, I've seen the Eli Drake stuff, I've seen like even like when he was wrestling and shit. So like, I look at LA Knight in a weird way like a John Cena, Miz, this, that. Like, some people were looking at LA Knight and his all overness because of his career right now. I'm just following another chapter, like a bunch of other people are. We're just following, there's a handful of people who's just following LA Knight in this chapter of his career. So I, because I grew up with this guy around, with all three of these guys around. So seeing this shit in the ring, it's actually like a weird feeling. Like, it's like, wow. Like, Theory versus Rey Mysterio. I'll end up commenting about this more on my Twitter or like on the community page, because I didn't watch this match, but I did see the highlights. It seemed like a decent matchup. I'm waiting for them to get Rey looking good, have him under that nice babyface spot, and then eventually we get that Santos turn and we end up having Santos and Rey feud. That would be gas. This match I'm confused about. I love it, but I'm confused about it. The tag team championship matchup, the exact winners came out of this that should have came out of this. If Sami and KO would have won, I would have been pissed off, because Judgment Day is who these motherfuckers have been feuding with all summer. So something different needed to come out of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, for them to do it for this long and tease it and not do it and tease it and not do it, they were not going to get another opportunity to do this. Like, you've had these guys feuding all fucking summer. Like, there is no reason why this didn't come out of it. Now, from my knowledge, Finn Balor and Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Yes, from the start, I didn't agree with this. I felt like it should have been Finn Balor and Dominic. And another thing I was actually saying too on Twitter the other day, one of my ideas that I was thinking is they should have did it in a weird way where it was Finn Balor versus JD McDonough. And I was saying, and I was pitching this idea that like JD and Finn should win the championships, because at the end of the day, no matter how many people are liking the whole JD thing, not liking him, he's gonna be in Judgment Day. Outside of Judgment Day, JD McDonough or Finn Balor, JD McDonough's teacher is Finn Balor. Like, he taught Balor everything. Like, even in NXT, they had these guys very close to each other. Like, it's a respect thing. These guys are gonna be with each other regardless. Like, at least I feel like they're gonna be with each other regardless. You know what I'm saying? Those are two kindred spirits right there. When I'm trying to make in Balor and JD should have won, and this kind of puts Damian Priest in a position where, like, he kind of has to, he kind of has to accept JD more now and stuff like that. But I see this story they're doing here, throughout the entire summer, especially leading up to Money in the Bank and especially after Money in the Bank. The story's been Finn Balor and Damian Priest. The story's been the dissension between those two guys. So having them win those championships, now that gives people kind of something to fall back on. And it gives their characters a sense of self-worth too, because Balor was kind of getting to a point where his bitterness was turning into jealousy, and it was just overshadowing the main importance of Judgment Day. So I feel like him having a championship now, it'll be good. Is Dominic still North American champion? Because if Dominic's North American champion, then Judgment Day's dripping in goddamn gold, baby. And I don't even know how I feel about that, bro. That's amazing. Yeah, but Rhea speared Kevin during this matchup. Kevin did some crazy shit through the fucking top thing. Listen, it was a good match. So yeah, I mean, I could see them going into our next segment with the whole Cody Rhodes, Grayson Waller effect. I said this for my No Mercy press conference. I literally said this shit, and I'm happy that it came to fruition, bro. I said that they were gonna do with the Usos that they did with the Mysterios last year. They're gonna end up having Jay go to Raw. He's gonna do whatever he does on Raw for the time being, and this is gonna eventually lead to Jay versus Jimmy coming up. Jimmy is gonna stay busy. I said that he was gonna join back with the bloodline, but they're doing it in a different way than I thought they were going to do it. So literally everything is lining up the exact fucking way I said it. So I'm kind of going crazy. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever had that feeling where like you guess something that's a genuine idea that like you said, like, and people may share it or whatever, but you had this idea, and then to see it actually come to life, it's like, oh, that's kind of fire. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of cool. But yeah, Jay's on Raw now. I know people are probably like, what is he gonna do on Raw? He has a bunch of different things he can do on Raw. He has a bunch of different angles you can throw him in on Raw. You can either throw him in a storyline with Cody, and you know, this can be the slow cook, the slow brew to Cody becoming that top guy for Roman to face again, and Jay kind of introduces that. Or you can see something where we end up seeing the entire Raw roster kind of turn their back on Jay, because yeah, sure, he doesn't like Roman, he fought Roman, he doesn't fuck with Roman now, but the last time half of these Raw guys seen Jay, he was a part of the bloodline. Last time they seen Jay, he was beating them up, just like Jimmy, just like Solo, when they were doing their thing on Raw for that period of time where they were just beating the shit out of random people. Like, a lot of people might have a grudge against Jay after all the shit he did with the bloodline. That's like killing mad people when you're in a gang or whatever, and then you're not in the gang anymore, and it's like, oh no, I'm a good person now, don't do this. Like, nah, you still did everything you did, so you could have a lot to pay. We could see Drew step up, we could see mad people step up to Jay. So Jay, I can see him being busy going forward until WrestleMania, when I assume we're gonna get that big match between Jimmy and Jay. So Jay has a lot to do, just how they do it. Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez. Funny thing enough about this is funny thing about this matchup is they didn't mention Rhea and Raquel's NXT history literally until this matchup, and I thought that was kind of crazy. But yeah, so this matchup is a thing now, or this matchup, you know, happened. It was a good matchup. I enjoyed it, but of course Rhea won. You know, Rhea, I don't think anybody really seen Rhea losing, but it was a decent match for what it was. I feel like it's building up for that Liv comeback, because they're gonna get their eventual match, and it's gonna mean more. It's gonna have a bunch of layers around it, because Liv hasn't held the title since that Rousey match, if I'm not mistaken. And also, aside from that, Rhea's the one that took out Liv. And if you want to go back even further than that, before Judgment Day, in the whole Nikki Ash stuff, Rhea was teammates with Liv, and they were in a tag team. So that there's a lot to go off of. Now, the reason why the title of this video is even the title of this video is because of the main event, bro, and it's for the World Heavyweight Championship, and it's the first time the World Championship's been in the main event on a pay-per-view. So I just gotta say thank you, WWE, for finally fucking getting that. So literally, right, we got Seth frickin' Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Rollins defeated Nakamura. I felt like a lot of people throughout the match thought Nakamura was gonna win. Like, people were like, oh, wait a minute, Great Muda's here. Like, he's gonna be here to either present the title, or he's gonna be here to either like congratulate Nakamura on winning the title. Like, it's gonna be great. Like, I'm like, bro, nah, it's not happening. Rollins is gonna win. I'm pretty sure Rollins is gonna go all the way to Mania, then have his back surgery. Freaking Ticket Drew was saying that on this podcast I watched, and I'm feeling like the same, especially with what they built off with this storyline. I feel like Seth's just gonna hold it to Mania, have the surgery, and whoever he drops it to is who he drops it to. But this was a good match. Nakamura really showed off, and Nakamura showed off why he not only deserves, but why he can main event. Like, I seen people kind of like doubting Nakamura, you know, in the comments and stuff, but these guys killed it. These guys had a very takeover-esque match, so I gotta say I fuck with it heavy. So yeah, that's gonna be for me today. I know this video wasn't like the most interesting, and usually I have more going on and stuff, but I just wanted to leave this as like an opinion-based kind of video and kind of have it be like that. But if you guys did enjoy this video, let me know down in the comment section below by hitting that thumbs up button, subscribing for more. We are almost at 2,000 subscribers, so that's kind of crazy. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next